This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
It's 11:07 at WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast. And, wow, I am looking at the monitor, and I see a gorgeous rose between two thorns. And Candy Tucker, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Well,
Are you staying warm?
yeah, well, I'm trying to. Actually, they moved up the time of the college basketball games that we're playing tomorrow in Tampa by a half hour. So because of the cold. So yeah, we're all set.
All right.
Trying to stay warm, and I know Harbor Place is warm. That's for sure.
Yes, it's very warm here, but a little cool in my office. But other than that, we're staying warm.
Well, I'll tell you, it's gonna get a lot hotter around your place when the Elvis Presley of Veterans Benefits shows up.
No.
Hey, Duane, how are you? It's been a while.
I'm not sure. The last time you compared it to Taylor Swift, now I'm Elvis Presley. I'm not sure where I'm going there, but I appreciate the left-handed compliments.
Well, Candy, when are you going to have
See, not.
What's his name?
Yeah, this is my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl.
That's right. I just thought of that. This is a Saturday Night Live routine. Anyway, when are you going to have Duane there?
Duane, that is a great question, Duane. When are you coming here to Harbor Place?
That would be Thursday, March 14th, a very important day on some calendars.
Yes.
No, and we're going to be there for 2 sessions. We're doubling down. Going to have me there at what? Well, it's either that or I'm going to start at 1:30 and it's going to end at 6:30. Or we're going to probably take a break in there somewhere.
Right.
Start all over again at 6:30. But March 14th, there'll be one session at 1:30 that we'll go through, and then we'll take a little bit of a break, and we'll have some people come in the evening that couldn't get away from work and wanted to learn more about it. They can come in the evening and catch up on it as well. So,
and the first 10,000 will get in free.
Absolutely. And I'm sure we have enough chairs over at Harbor Place. I've seen them put them out before. So,
yes.
There you go. All right. Well, Candy, I know you got a lot of stuff going and in between now and March 14th when Duane shows up. But what's on the calendar?
Oh, today, Dr. Watson is going to be here at 2:00 to speak about the aging process in Alzheimer's and dementia. So we are very excited that he's here. I can't wait to hear him speak. I've heard so much about him. I went to a networking event the other day at, I believe it was Palm Garden, and they knew exactly who I was talking about. They were invited to come along as well. So I'm very excited to see him today. And in March, we have a spring fling bingo that we're hosting. And we've invited, a lot of the community to come here and play bingo with us in the independent living, on the independent living side. And that's at 1:30 on March 29th.
Well, and then of course on the 14th, Duane will be there. And Duane, as I remember, and this goes back, I don't know, 5 or 7, 8 years, you used to do 2 sessions, didn't you?
That is correct. Back in the day before the pre-COVID, post-COVID sessions there, but
yes.
No, I remember back in the day, we used to do this and we said, hey, is that the right thing to do? And yet we used to fill both rooms up there, that little activity room. We'd fill it up for both sessions. And we get a lot of foot traffic into the community, not only to learn about the benefit, but learn about the communities. And as our senior wartime veterans are now getting to that age, it's something they need to be looking into and learning about. Because as I've seen here now, as we go through the wartime eras, if you're doing the math, our World War II veterans are now declining in numbers here, if due to aging. So we're still, as I'm starting to see in our communities as well as Harbor Place, we're starting to see some of the Korean veterans are now getting to the age that they need to start looking at this and considering it. Because again, from a historical standpoint, it was in 1954 that they came up with this program. So it's been waiting here since 1954 for our Korean veterans. So I'd be more than happy to be here and welcome them and educate them about this program and how it can be beneficial to them and their spouses.
And it's really funny. I missed all the Super Bowl commercials for the VA touting this program too. For some
Oh,
reason.
didn't you see them? What that little blank right between when one commercial ends and the new commercial starts? they claim that space in between every one of them. So if you place them all together, you see the entire commercial. They're so ingenious.
Oh my. Yeah, as you have said a million times, unfortunately, this is the best kept secret at the VA.
Yes, yes, it is one of them, but it's one that we've been out there again with this organization. We've been doing this for over 25 years. Because again, we were the first privately owned organization to start help our veterans with aid and attendance. And we are still the nation's largest privately owned organization helping our veterans. And we owe that all back to a very lovely lady, Miss Mary Schneider, who used to work for the VA and some 26, 27 years ago departed their ways with them and decided to put together a nationwide organization to let our veterans know. Otherwise, this word would not be out there. She was a game changer, and I'm still proud to be carrying on. She is now retired now and turned the organization over. And again, the head man, our VA accredited board certified elder law attorney, John Casterline, who's been with us for well over 20 of our 25 plus years and responsible for well over 20,100% approved applications for the full benefit amount. And I challenge anybody, show me another VA accredited board certified elder law attorney that can claim such stuff. So, because there's only one that I know of and I work for him. and I owe all the credit to him and his people up there. I'm just the man out here trying to market it and get the word out and let people know, hey, it is here. We can help you. We can work with you and determine whether you're eligible or not eligible. And if you're not, what you need to do and what kind of a plan you need to start putting together now. So maybe down the road, you have this available to you and use it in your estate planning, because it is a key piece of the puzzle when it comes to doing and living a very happy life over at Harbor Place. So.
And I know you've helped several people at Harbor Place, as a matter of fact.
Oh, many over the years. And the stories of those veterans, I could tell you. In fact, I was telling one of my neighbors the story of one of the veterans that I met over there at Harbor Place. That was an amazing story that he was the little gentleman that was in the Signal Corps during World War II. And actually, what gave him history right out of the Corps is he followed his father's footsteps into the Signal Corps. And when he got through the Signal Corps and they were in the big auditorium and they're all in their white dressed uniforms and the admiral is up there. He said, we have a special announcement because we have a very special guest in our audience. This has never happened, but we have a classmate here that actually graded 99 on the final exam, which has never, ever happened in the history of the Signal Corps, which was amazing enough. But he said then he came out and he pointed a few things out to us about the question that we thought he had gotten wrong. Turns out he was right. He got a 100% on the final exam. That definitely never happened. He lived at Harbor Place. And I read,
Wow. Well,
but he
yeah.
ended up in the Pacific Theater on the Enterprise as the right-hand man for Admiral Halsey to break the code for the Japanese code in the Pacific Theater. And that's a whole other story, but he did accomplish it. And how he did it was absolutely amazing, how he put it all together. But he an amazing, amazing man that I met over at Harbor Place. And it's like, you never know who you're going to run into. It's like, that was you? Yeah, that was me. It's like, okay.
Well, you know, and Candy and I have had this discussion. Candy, you are so fortunate because you've got some amazing folks who have done some just absolutely incredible things in their lifetime there.
Yeah, and I'm still, getting to learn them, but I love hearing all of their stories. I can quote stories from residents from 15, 17 years ago that I'll never forget. And that is one of the best parts of, working in, assisted living, long-term care. You get to learn so much and see through the eyes of people that have seen things that you will never see.
So true. So true.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, Duane, are there any, obviously we're 2024 now, any new wrinkles from the Veterans Administration?
Well, on the upside, we did get an increase in the benefit amount here in 2024 based on the COLA, the cost of living adjustment, as everybody else got on their Social Security. So the currently updated amounts when you're approved for the full benefit, which is the only thing we do, is apply and receive the full benefit. That's our history. But for a veteran, single veteran, the new benefit amount would be $2,300 a month or $27,609 annually. A veteran and spouse, a veteran and spouse would receive $2,727 a month or $32,729 to help pay living in a beautiful place like Harbor Place. And then the other one that we don't want to exclude in getting the word out are those that are known as the surviving spouse of our wartime veterans, which means you had to have been married to a wartime veteran for 1 calendar year, married to him at the time of his passing, and not remarried since. And if we can put those pieces of the puzzle together, then we can prove as a surviving spouse, you can get an additional $1,478 of tax-free money, the equivalent of $17,743 per year to help you offset those costs of living in that beautiful community. And I'd like to be there, but I don't have a veterans benefit waiting for me, but it would be nice. So,
Oh, maybe you and Daryl can move in together. Oh,
well, hey, how about my other brother, Daryl?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, both your brothers.
And their dog.
Yeah,
You can't
well,
forget the dog. They never go anywhere without the dog.
and the dog's name is Daryl too, right?
Yeah, and he's been dead.
Well, and I must say, for folks out there, the operative words for Duane is that you have to be an active service member during a combat era. And so for those of us who may have worked in Saigon at like Armed Forces Radio, we are not covered with this, obviously, as civilian employees. So you had to be in the service during the time of war.
Yep, yeah, as we say, a wartime era. And the ones that we are currently working with, as I mentioned, we have our World War II veterans, which would be December 7th, 1941 to December 31st, 1946. And if you do that math, they're in their mid to late 90s, even if they were 18 years old at that time. So, but we do again, we see the surviving spouses, much like I see. When I first joined this organization, I was doing a lot of World War II veterans, but I also helped a World War I spouse of a World War I veteran, which was who also was an interesting story in his effect on the Navy SEALs uniforms, but that's a whole nother story in town. But anyway, so we got World War II, 41 to 46. And as I say, we're now coming into Korea, which is June 27th, 1950 to January 31st, 1955. And again, in order to qualify as a wartime veteran, the definition is 90 consecutive days of active military duty, one day of which was during a wartime era, honorably discharged and over the age of 65. And then you mentioned your little time in Saigon there, and that's the one that gets a little confusing because to do it in this order from 11/1 of 55 to 8/4 of 64 is considered the extended war era dates for those veterans who were stationed in Vietnam. So it's from 55 to August of 64 had to be in theater. And then from August 5th of 64 to May 7th of 75, it falls under the same category. You could have been anywhere in the world as long as, again, 90 consecutive days, one day of active military duty during a wartime era, honorably discharged over the age of 65. So now I have heard from a few of them that are looking at the next generation, which is the Gulf War, which is again, the rules and regulations for the next generation are changing. It's not going to be just the 90 consecutive days. I heard it's 2 years and so on and so forth. But right now I'm here to take care of our Korean and my fellow Vietnam era veterans as long as I can. So.
If you mention 1955 as the beginning date for the Vietnam, a
Yep,
lot of the
11/1/55.
a lot of the scout troops that I remember
Mhm.
were before that, so they would not qualify for this
Not according to this. Nope.
because they technically didn't exist in that.
Exactly.
Oh,
We weren't there then. No, we're not. We're not in Vietnam. No.
yeah. Oh, I believe me. I
Oh.
lived it. Yeah. I
Oh,
remember.
you and I both. You and I both. That's back when they had the draft and my number came up. So,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. But you've done so well for folks, and and you have said several times, you make one mistake with the VA and they'll just toss it.
well, they don't toss it. They just hang you up in the system and hang you out to dry
Mhm.
and hope you go away. That's what they do. And it's like, and even now when I try and explain what we're going to go through, people are just saying they're so overwhelmed. And I said, that's why I'm here, because you can't do it yourself. The easy days when you just put something on a piece of paper and send it in, and it was like lazy ways. No, they scrutinize you. And as I say, the one that I tell people about, and it was not one of my cases, but we all heard about it in the company as it rippled through because we could not believe it, that there was a case that was sent in and it was a discrepancy of interest on a savings account. The annual amount was off by a difference of 2 cents. Now, we didn't know, and that we still don't know to this day whether it was positive or negative, but someone in the VA looked at it, compared to what was reported to the IRS, and noticed a difference and held up that case for 6 months until the family could go out there and find out find supporting document from the bank to go and prove what the actual difference was. And then from that point on, they went on and eventually it was approved, but it lost 6 months.
Wow.
And when you're moving into that community and you're waiting for that benefit to be approved, every month, day, week, and hour is nerve-wracking because you're saying, hey, I need this to help me live at Harbor Place. This is going to be part of, as I see it, this is a version of long-term care because it's triggered again by having the activities of daily living. You need to be living in the community and getting the activities of daily living. So it's a version of long-term care for our senior wartime veterans and their spouses. You're going to have to prove that you're getting this, and you got to cross the T's and dot the I's to do it. And it's really with them opening up all their contacts and everything to all the government, because as I say, what we send in, they're going to compare it to what's in the IRS and Social Security. That's why we're getting all those documents from our clients. Because which leads to a question that a client just asked me this morning. Well, how long does it take? And I always ask, well, which side of the coin do you want to talk about? Are we talking the family getting everything together that the VA is going to require for your individual case because they're all different? Or are you talking about how long it's going to take the VA to approve you? Because I've seen where it takes families longer to get the documents together than it does the VA to approve them. And so, but you have to have it because again, when you're working with us to have a perfect track record that everybody that has followed our step-by-step program has been approved for the full benefit amount. How can we do this? Why? Because we not only tell the VA, we need the document to prove it. We tell them we prove it, we tell them we prove it, we tell them we prove it. And I cannot turn my client here over to our attorney until I know they've got everything he needs to put that case together. And that's the amazing thing. We don't charge our clients until they reach that point. You get me for free. All my advice and knowledge to share with you, to walk you through that wonderful, wacky world of the landmines laid by the VA to test your case. And if and when you're able to, and ready to go, then and only then do you reach for your wallet to engage the services of our VA accredited board certified elder law attorney with over 20,000 approvals, 100%. Boom. But you get all our knowledge and experience for free. That's better than the VA. Because our knowledge you can stand by. The VA, rumors and innuendos. You know.
Yep, and you'll be at
so many of them I've heard coming out of those people that are supposed to be running this program.
Yes. Yeah, and you'll be at Candy's house on the 14th of March.
Yes, I will. We're going to rock the house. Harbor Place is going to be rocking again.
Yes, we will. I'm so excited. I can't wait for you to come and meet with our residents and whoever else wants to pop in and listen to everything that you all have to offer. I will make sure that I am in attendance so I can become well versed on the things that you have extensive knowledge on.
Oh, everybody is welcome because again, if you don't have a veteran, you know a veteran, you know
Right.
somebody who can use this. Come and learn. It's not going to cost you anything to come in and learn about it. And the last one that we had over there at Harbor Place, I would have called that a big success. We had that back room, we had it full. Everybody was at those tables, and it went on. They asked even after I spent a good time answering the questions that we normally hear over 25 years. We addressed those in our presentation. The gang still there had some great questions and we had some great interaction. We all learned a lot. And so now whether they go out there and use the information, that's up to them. But we are going to plant the seed that will hopefully grow and they will come and learn and understand how this program works and how it can be a benefit. Because to me, the biggest thing that gives me the big feeling of accomplishing something is when I get that call or I have that meeting with the family when their loved one has been approved. And they may have waited for 6 months to get that approval, but they get 6 months of retro and all of a sudden that shows up in their checking account. And now they know they've got that. As long as they stay within the guidelines, that's going to be there to take care of them the rest of their lives. the response I get from the families and the thank yous and the gratitudes and saying, Duane, we so appreciate it because we wouldn't have done this without you. We would have quit. We know there was a lot that you had us go through in collecting everything, but Duane, it was well worth it because mom and dad are now going to be taken care of and they don't have to worry about the financial issues now that we got the program for them.
And Candy,
That to
just
me
kind
is
of an
just,
yep. And Candy, just an FYI to you, Duane's payment is in cookies.
yes.
We'll make sure that we have a ton for him.
Yeah. And actually, back in the day, I used to pay back the communities paid me in cookies, and I used to pay back in cakes. We used to bring sheet cakes for all the holidays, and actually, when they got approved, we'd bring them a little cake and bring it into the dining room and make them the heroes of the dining room on
Ooh,
getting their approval in
nice.
the day. So you feed me cookies, you get cakes back. But
What's your favorite cookie?
oh, all of them.
Really?
Oh, no, yeah, I just have a weakness. So, but and any fresh baked cookie, you got me hooked. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm hoping
Remember
some of
that.
the people don't show up because any leftover cookies go to me.
We'll make sure you have an abundance.
Well, thank you. It's a fair price, because it's even better than the paycheck because they go through at the office and figure out how much value I contribute to the company and send me a check every month, and it's a zero balance. It's like, well, he's got a lot of value, but
Oh, brother. Unreal. Well, I know that so you're going to have two sessions in March, just kind of a throwback uh, to the old days, I guess, if you will, at Harbor Place, and I know from some of the past seminars that you've had, you really have packed the room. So yeah,
yep,
should
yep,
be good. Should be good.
yep. My biggest one was at a community up in Vero Beach. We had it had a capacity. I think the room was 102 occupants, and we had an overflow. They were standing out in the vestibule and everywhere else and open up the doors because they had over 100 people there and weren't allowed to get them all in the room, packed them all. And I walked out there. It was the one time I came very, very close to losing my voice. Could you imagine a superhero losing a superpower right there in front of a whole audience? But no, I look forward to it. And there's and part of the reason we're doing a couple of sessions here, number one, the afternoon session is to get some of our peeps that are there in Harbor Place that may not know about it so they can start talking to their sons and daughters and other family members and hopefully get some of them to come in an evening session, or those that are working that can't be there during the day, we can catch them in the evening. So it's a nice way to do a sandwich session and get a little bit of a combination and offering it. And sometimes you've got people that are looking and they're shopping for a community. Maybe they can make it in the evening again because they're working during the day. So, by offering them two, it seemed to balance out and the word spread. So we seem to get, it just spread to the point we just started filling it both times back in the day, So, but and I think right now it's starting again become more and more popular. I'm getting some of the other communities are now talking to me and booking sessions, and which is all good. The word is getting out there. But I think it's very, very important now, especially with inflation the way it is and the cost of the community and everything else. Some of these, as it always been for a lot of the children, it's sticker shock when they walk in and they say it's going to cost how much. This is a nice way of blending that. It's kind of a little, from my old industry in real estate, thinking, hey, it's a VA tax-free loan in a way, where we're going to help you mortgage your move into a licensed care community and getting you the care that you need. And we're going to be part of that financial plan to help you do that and transition and make sure you're taken care of for the rest of your life. much like my good friend, Mr. Bill Cage, and his wife did. They both lived there for their entire lives, which was combined over 10 years. For that whole time, from the time they moved in and independent living, I got them the benefit, and Roland, we got him in, we got him the benefit, and they, over the course of time, he was the last one to pass, but they were there for over 10 years and they collected the benefit over $250,000 over that 10 years.
And
Now,
you are right in saying that it truly is um,
life changing.
very, yeah, it is long-term insurance for all
Yeah,
intents and purposes. It is.
it is. Yeah, you paid for by serving our country. You already paid the tab. The veteran paid the tab. As I brought up, and I'm going to be starting and asking this question of our Korean veterans as I start getting with them. I know the answer with our World War II veteran. Well, how much did they pay you? And the standard answer was $35 and a carton of cigarettes. I said, do you think they owe you a little bit of backpack? Okay, well, let me help you get it. This is more, you know. I don't know what I'm waiting to see as I interview some of our Korean veterans what the pay was at that time. I hope it was more than $35 and maybe 2 cartons of cigarettes. So if they still have value in that market, you know.
Now, of course, they have to have paperwork that you can work with as well.
Oh, absolutely. There's certain things that we must prove, and number one is that we have a wartime veteran, and that key number one document we cannot go forward with is the discharge papers, aka the DD 214 separation papers that gives us all the data we need when who the veteran is, his date of birth, place of birth, branch of service, date entered, date discharge, service number, everything is on that separation paper. And it used to be that they would require either an original or a certified. Well, since COVID, some good news. We've gotten it down to where now, if we can get a good, clean copy in a PDF format, because that's what we work with and the VA works with, if it's good and clean and legible, we can use it as documentation that we have a wartime veteran. It doesn't have to be the original or certified anymore. So we're moving on by that. That we have to prove the marriage history, not just the current marriage, but all the prior marriages have to be discussed. So especially if we're working with a surviving spouse, and then you're going to need your income statements, your Social Security, pension statements, dividend statements, interest statements on banking accounts for that 2 censor, you know, and all the different assets. We need to know about anything, because now the VA does have a 3-year look back on income and assets. So if you closed out an account in the last 3 years and we don't tell them about it, you're going to get hung up in the system. So we need to know if you closed any accounts, if you moved any money, if you gifted any money out of your name to anybody else. They are looking for an accounting of all of that, because they can and have the right to go back 3 years into your financials when you're applying for this. And that's where, again, I come in to make sure that we cover all those bases. What have you done? Where has it gone? Have you moved anything? Even if it was a simple, hey, we just closed a checking account at ABC Bank and we moved it over to XYZ. We have to show that where it left, where it went to, that there was no shenanigans, you know, so it's an adventure. And as I say, it's like putting a big, my mother always loved putting together jigsaw puzzles. And the only thing you see is what's on the box, and you're hoping when you're done, it's going to look like the box. But with this, I don't know what the box looks like. I'm just, give me the pieces and let me see what I can make out of it. You know, because but I enjoy it. It's really fun. It's really challenging, and it's for a good cause. Because again, if you don't know what you're doing and you don't submit exactly what they're looking for, you're going to get hung up in the system. And
Duane, what about second wives?
Second wives? How many do you got there, buddy? 7?
No, I mean, if a guy's been remarried, what happens?
Okay. Again, the definition of a surviving spouse. I didn't know if you had your own little harem over there or what you had
No,
going.
no, 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 no,
You know,
no.
you're talking about Saigon radio and but
No, I covered stories in Utah, but I never lived there.
okay. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. We needed to know. Not. So anyway, now the definition of a surviving spouse is that you had to have been married to the veteran for 1 calendar year, married to him at the time of his passing and not remarried since. Now, if there was a prior bride along the way, which I've had happen, and in fact, it was the irony, I had two surviving spouses come to me on the same day at a community. Both were married 3 times, all 3 times to wartime veterans. Wow, what do we do with this one? So, and one I was able to help and the other one I was not. And here's the reason. The one I was able to help, she was married to all three wartime veterans. She was married to the first one, he died. She married the second one, got divorced. She married the third one. She was married to him at the time of his passing and did not remarry since. She was therefore considered the surviving spouse of that third veteran. Okay. The other lady came in and she scrambled the order. She got married to the first one. He died, got married to the second one, he died, got married to the third one, got divorced. Therefore, she was no longer entitled to the benefit because she had divorced the last veteran. And that's, well, can I go back to the other one? No, you can't. It's whichever one you were married to. So it's had she continued her track and not divorced the third one and lived until he died, I could have helped her. But because she divorced him, she is not considered a surviving spouse. She may be the widow under the terms and conditions of Social Security, and that's where everybody gets confused. You can be a widow and get your husband's, ex-husbands and all the different mixtures in Social Security. The VA, no, they specifically say surviving spouse, and the definition being you're the last one in line. So that's why I tell all the little ladies out there, if you're living in the community and you're not the surviving spouse of a wartime veteran, but you got your eye on one of them, go get hitched. Now we can get the veteran and spouse benefit. And after he's gone, if you're married to him for at least a year, we can get you as a surviving spouse, which again, and here's how a quick story, like I don't have any time on these. That I saw. No, I had a veteran and his wife that came to me. I'm going to put it that way, and from New York, and we worked with them and we put all the papers together and submitted it to the VA, and they were considered married by common law in New York. But the VA does not accept common law in New York. So yes, they did approve him for his benefit for aid and attendance, but only as a single veteran, not as a married veteran. So now they turned around and they said, oh, we're going to have to announce it to all of our children and grandchildren that we were never legally married and we're going to have to go and get married. So they had the big wedding marriage ceremony and everything. We got the marriage certificate. We submitted it to the VA and they upped their benefit from the single veteran up to the veteran and spouse because now he's a married veteran. So he's entitled to the full benefit. So we fixed that problem. Everything good in our little veterans world until the day he passed away, which was less than a year after we got him married, or they had gotten married. So we were not able to go back in as we usually do after the veteran passes away and submit as a surviving spouse because she was not married to him for at least 1 calendar year. They made it for 11 months and 2 weeks, I think. They had 2 weeks to go and she would have made it, and he passed away. So it's like, so guys, if you're going to go out there and get married early. That's the meaning. So
there you go. Well, Candy, I think you've discovered that Duane is rather shy, and
He definitely is shy.
very, very. You never would know it though, would you?
Right. No, I appreciate all of this knowledge. It's a lot of things I didn't even know. So, I mean, Why would I know? I don't know that
Yeah,
much
no,
when it comes to VA benefits.
yeah, yeah, unless you're out there in this world, you would never know.
No,
You
not
would
at all.
never know this. But and that's why I'm hanging in here. I want to hang in here for our Treasure Coast community and take care of our veterans. As I'm sure I've told my story is the reason I do, and it's not because of the little bucks that I get from this. It's this is not keeping me alive. I'm basically retired. This is my passion and doing what I do because of my dad. And basically, his story was that he was born in 1912 in northern Maine. So far north, you have to look south to see Canada. But when World War II broke out, being the last of 13 children, he felt it was his obligation to serve our country on behalf of the Levesque family. So at 31 years of age, he volunteered and went into the Army. He went from northern Maine down to Camp Shelby, where in the hot, steeping hot Mississippi sun, he and his fellow soldiers went through their basic training. And when they were deployed, they were now known as the 296 Combat Engineers, and where they put boots on the ground was a little beach called Normandy. So my dad is now 32 years of age. He's on the beaches of Normandy with the 18, 19, 20-year-old boys. He was in northern France, the Ardennes, the Rhineland, the Battle of the Bulge, through Central Europe and right on into Germany. And if you understand the mission of the 296 Combat Engineers, these were the boys, the men that were being bombed and while being shot at, were clearing minefields and building bridges in front of Patton. And we all know Patton's theory of war is we don't hold, we advance. That man, those boys, those men are my heroes. And every time I had a chance to talk to my dad before he passed away at 101 years young, the very first question he would always ask me is, Duane, are you still helping my veterans? And I would say, Dad, yes, I am. And he'd say, thank you. And I said, Dad, you don't have to thank me. It is my honor. It is my privilege. And I promise you this, I will do no harm. So I honor my dad every day by picking up the banner of the 296 Combat Engineers, and I'm here to clear minefields and build bridges to the VA benefits. And as long as they follow our instructions, we have a very good success rate at getting them over the bridge and through the minefield. But if they want to come in and they want to step off the trail and they want to step on a landmine or hit a tripwire, are the ones I love the best. They show up with their own suicide vest and they blow their own cases up. They don't need my help. But if they're there and they want to do it and they want to do it our way, we're very good. And everyone I help is helping another one of my dad's veterans. So when I see him again, I can say, Dad, did I do it good? Did I do okay? Did I take care of him? That's my goal. That's why I'm here. So, but
wow,
enough
what a
about
Story.
What a story.
No.
Yeah. I don't know, Candy. This is going to be interesting on the 14th. It really is.
Well, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Me too. Gee, I heard a lot about this guy. I can't wait to see him in person.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the 14th, and I know our residents, and we're all looking forward to it. And I'm sure you'll have a great, beautiful turnout.
Yep.
So yeah, we're
And if we get this as a regular, it starts building upon itself. As I tell Pat Miles over there, go see Pat Miles, say hello to Pat. So, but no, we used to build it and it just starts feeding on itself. Once you start getting them in there and they start feeding, oh, hey, hey, there he is. He's the VA guy. And
right.
he's got a seminar. You got to get in there. And they start feeding everybody else once you start getting some success stories in there. And that's what we got to rekindle that fire over there. And I can't think of a better platform or place to do it, right? Because Harbor Place was one of the first communities when I got into this business I approached, and they started working with me and said, yes, we want you in. And I'm glad to be back there again. It feels like home to me over there.
Oh, that's great.
Especially when they let me near the pool table.
Oh, I forgot to mention that, Candy. That's his other must. Yeah. Cookies and pool.
Cookies and pool. That's easy enough.
See, well, see that I'm easy to work with, and I can be blackmailed.
And I'll even shoot some pool with you.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay,
I'll pack my cue.
all right.
Duane, how do folks get in touch with you?
Yeah, the easiest way is with my electric leash, as I call it, which is available 24/7. It is, I'm not, but if you call and leave a voicemail, I will return your call. And that number would be 772-342-4677. Again, 772-342-4677. And if they want to call over to Candy and set up something to come to our little gathering over there at Harbor Place, they're at 772-337-4330. Call and RSVP, because I hear it's as hot as an Elvis and Tyler Swift concert.
There you go. And the name of the organization again, Duane?
The company is known as Claim Support for Veterans. And if you want to go to our website, it's claimsupportforveterans.com. So it's CLAIMSUPPORT, the word FOR, veterans, VETERANS.com. And there's a lot of good information on there. And in fact, if you want to go in there, there's a little on the start page, you can go and scroll down a little bit. There's a video embedded in there featuring John Gasterline, the aforementioned VA accredited attorney, and Greg McIntosh, the head of our advocacy department. They can get a seminar done in 30 minutes, actually just under. But then they don't have people asking them questions during it, but that's okay. No, they go through the basic presentation there. And then if they want, they can register there online, which will get to me so I can set it up and we can start working with them if they want to go online and learn about it. But there's nothing like a live audience here. And so I'd like them to call over at Harbor Place at 772-337-4330. Come on in, reserve yourself a seat, but make sure you get right up front where I can pick on you, because I always like to ask questions even before I give the answers. And we can have a fun afternoon and evening over at Harbor Place.
Should folks bring paperwork with them when, they are talking with you one-on-one after the session?
They can, but I won't be able to, I'll look at it if they want to bring something along and say, hey, is this what you're going to need? I'm going to be happy to have that. But what we're going to do at that seminar, I'm going to give them a little worksheet that they need to fill out and bring back so we can register them as a case working under my VA accredited attorney. Because I'm not VA accredited. I'm not a veteran service officer. Our attorney is. So legally, they come in and they get a little worksheet, which basically is just a registration saying, who are we? Who's the veteran? A little bit about their income, their medical expenses and assets. It's very, very generic. They include that with a copy of their discharge. I send it up. We get a case number for them. Now I can call them back directly right here on the Treasure Coast and work with the family in a one-on-one situation to help them build a case. But at that point, as I say, I can share all 17 ingredients of our secret chicken recipe with them. Until then, I can only tell them to order off the menu. So fill out the worksheet, send us a discharge, get registered. Now I can work with you because now I'm working under the attorney and I will not be wearing an orange jumpsuit anytime in my near future. Unlike
And, I think the thing that's important for folks just out driving around right now that are really interested in helping mom and dad out or just, themselves. This is we're going to air this again at 11 o'clock on Thursday, but it will also be on YouTube. So you can watch this. Of course, Duane has his television makeup on, and he's all set.
Hey, I learned after that first time, I wasn't coming on just naked, natural. I said, no. I hired professionals.
Yeah, well, Candy doesn't need it. So, I mean, she's...
Oh, absolutely does not.
No, definitely does not. Oh, brother.
You're too kind.
And if you think she's adorable here on camera, you should meet her in person, as I have, just briefly, but I didn't, you know.
We did meet briefly. Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah. And as you usually are, as all your people are, always shuffling off to another place and another fire, another emergency, and another thing to handle. And
Right.
that's why when I've walked into that community, I know the wave off. It's like, no, Duane, hey, you know, the hand goes up, they
Right.
wave it off, and it's like, hey, I get it. Go, go. You got a showing. Go. You know, so don't slow them girls down. So, but I
Yeah.
will be slowing them down on the 14th between 1:30 for about an hour or so, and then at 6:30 again, they're going to be slowing down for me. I bet you. So.
That's great. I just think it's wonderful that you can avail of yourself and help these people. You know, in memory of your dad. I think it doesn't get any better than that. Candy, again, what you got going next couple weeks here?
Well, today we have Dr. Watson here at 2 o'clock to speak on Alzheimer's and dementia and the aging process. And then next month, we have the Spring Fling Bingo at on March 29th at 1:30 p.m. We've invited the community to come out and play with us. We'll have some door prizes. We'll have some hors d'oeuvres and drinks here. And then, of course, on the 14th, we have Duane coming to speak with us about everything that we just spoke about with the VA benefits and everything. So we are all looking forward to that. I believe he said his time slot was 1:30 and 6:30 p.m. on March 15th.
Yep. That sounds great. Well, and of course, you and Pat are available to give tours at Harbor Place.
Yes, we are. We're located at 3700 Southeast Jennings Road, and that's in Port St. Lucie. Our telephone number here is 772-337-4330. You can call or just come on by.